Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here today to hear our story. Our story is that of innovation, but much more a story of celebrating human life. A human life that has been rendered inhuman by years of economic and social ecosystems disabuse. It is a story of human life which actually moves our economic tick. It's a story of human life which many of you would know of, but never would have thought about for more than an hour in their entire lives. This is a story of the life of an Indian truck driver. So let me take you back to the year 2014 when I was still at McKinsey, did not know anything about the trucking economy or the trucking sector at all. I was already 32, wanting to do something. The urge was there and looking for an idea to actually pursue. An idea with social impact, idea with purpose, idea which would actually make real, economic impact and would be truly India's innovation for the world. And I was not inspired to actually think of ideas which had happened globally and then replicate those back in India. And therefore, I started studying the logistics ecosystem, thought that if India has to grow, if India has to be that economic superpower, then logistics and supply chain ecosystem has to be built. To my amazement, when I actually went down to the sector, started studying the sector, I realized the problem was not actually in the way trucks operated, in the way customers ordered. The problem was actually deep rooted in the life of the truck driver. Not many of you would know that an Indian truck driver actually is in severe and chronic paucity. No one wants to be a truck driver. I remember back in 2014 summers, I met a truck driver. I hopped onto his truck cabin. He was a Sardarji from Punjab. The only public memory he had of Indira Gandhi as the Prime Minister and Operation Blue Star. He had lived his life in a trailer of a truck. He had met his son only 5 times in his entire life. That was his life. That changed my worldview, that this cannot be, this is too inhuman. This cannot be life of millions of people, and this is not how the backbone of the economy can exist. During that time, I also got an opportunity to actually travel with an NGO to distribute pillow covers to a place in Jaipur. I was so inspired meeting truck drivers on the road that I actually ended up driving all the way down from Delhi to Vapi. I had told my family that I'll be back the same evening. I landed back home a week later, and I had met hundreds of truck drivers along the way and listened to their stories. In Jaipur, I remember meeting a truck driver at a driver seva kendra. He first time told me that actually drivers are treated as not the mainstream caste, but as a 37th caste. The manager of the driver seva kendra said, "Sahab, ye to 37वीं कौम hai." Believe you me, I did not even know that India has a 36 caste, social system, and he's being called as an outcast. A truck driver is actually a 37th caste. Now imagine who would marry a 37th caste? Who would want to, as a youth, grow up to become a 37th caste? A truck driver lives months away from home, poor conditions, 40% of their families have HIV, 25% of them don't even get married. He lives 10 years younger compared to an average human being. And there's substance abuse, there's unsafe life, and on top of it, you need 1 million truck drivers every year. That's a huge number. That's 10% of the job agenda this nation has. We are adding about 10 million youth to the job population every year, and 10% of that is truck driver. The government data says we'll have 480 truck drivers to 1,000 trucks if the situation continues. So I felt, something has to be done about this. And honestly, while I was at McKinsey and thinking of an idea, I was thinking of a tech logistics kind of an idea. But I did not realize the idea would become, about solving the life of a truck driver. So I came back from this week-long trip, declared to my family that every truck in the world actually would run in a way that the driver life would be made human. And so every truck should be run through a global first idea called as a driver relay, by which a driver would just not come back home every day. Trucks would be passed on as batons, and just like in the way Indian Railways run, and thereby reducing the transit time and increasing the safety of the entire operations. The way it works is Delhi to Bombay, we set up pit stops, started running trucks. The changeovers would happen at pit stops along the way. The trucks would keep running, whereas the drivers would keep hopping to another truck coming back in the opposite direction. So each truck on the pit stop would come back home the same day, thereby connecting him back to his family, the social ecosystem, the environment. He would bring his home dabba, food from home. He would save more money. He would start coming back home every day. He would sleep at his own bed every day. It would be much safer because he's traveling the same route. And the transit time would actually come down significantly. So I thought if the transit time is coming down significantly and the driver is having a much better life and the economic asset is getting much more utilized, I think we'll definitely make money at the center of it. And I was always inspired of businesses solving real social problems, not solving through CSR budgets or through NGOs. And so I thought I found my calling, but my father was not happy with it. He did not speak to me for 3 months. He said, "You're a McKinsey guy, we'll deal with truck drivers and solve their problem." I said, "No, this will work out." And 3.5 years later, we run a fleet of 5,000 trucks. We've changed lives of 10,000 drivers. 30,000 truckers are actually on a aggregator platform. Our aspiration is that every truck in the next 7-8 years will run on relay. Million driver lives will actually make their life human through relay ecosystem. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a global problem. And I would love to believe that this is an India idea to a global problem. And this is a $3 trillion market. Like Sir said, there is a hope that we could build a Microsoft or a Google out from here. Like Sir said, we've started well, but we'd also love to finish off well. So we need your blessings so that we can be the finishers here.